In this video, we are testing the Mercedes EQE SUV 53 AMG 4MATIC Plus in the range test. So we are going to find out how far this performance SUV can go on a full charge of battery. It is the least efficient version, and also the weather in this video, not great, even though we are at the end of April, so the results may not be the best, but either way, we're going to put this car to the test and see how it performs. Back in the Mercedes EQE SUV. I haven't driven one of these since last fall. Actually, the last time I had one of these on lawn was an EQE SUV 43 AMG that it took down to Germany, down to the IAA last year, and I drove around in South Germany. I took a trip to Austria. I had a real great time with one of these. So if you want to check out those road trip videos, I will link them in the description box down below. But today we have the big brother to the 43, the 53. This thing is completely bonkers. It's really expensive, it's really fast, and it's really good to drive. This being the AMG version, it's also on 22-inch wheels. It's a little bit lowered on its suspension, and it's just a little bit more noisy than a normal EQE 350 4MATIC, for example, on smaller wheels. It's just a little bit more raw in the experience, but it is impressive how this thing controls its mass and its body weight. I'll talk more about that in my review, which will probably come out next week. But we've been on the road for about 15 minutes now. We're headed northward on the E6 motorway, and we started with really heavy showers and almost like snowy weather, slush, and temperatures down to like 2 degrees Celsius. Now it's dry, the temperature has creeped up to 6 degrees Celsius, but average consumption has suffered the first 15 minutes. It's now at around 30 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. We also have a slight push in the northwestward direction. We are going straight north, and then once we turn around, we're going straight south on this route. But I'm expecting the wind not to be a big factor in today's test. And also the consumption now keeps dropping a little bit as the sun keeps popping out. So it's going to be interesting to see what the least efficient version, the most powerful version of the Mercedes EQE SUV will perform in this range test. The weather has been so schizophrenic, going from sun to rain to hail to slush, back to sun, and it's just been insanely crazy. And also the temperature is really low outside, 5 degrees Celsius now, so it's not even springtime, like we're back to winter temperatures. And talking about winter temperatures, let's talk about the consumption. 28.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. That is pretty high. Is it because of the low temperatures? Well, probably. Is it because of the rain? Yeah, probably. Is it because this car is on 22-inch wheels? Yeah, probably. Is it because this is the fastest version? Probably the least efficient version of the EQE SUV? Yeah, probably. The WLTP rated range of this car is from 453 kilometers. And I say from, what I really mean is maximum. This car with 22-inch wheels has a WLTP rated range of 413 kilometers. So don't expect the best range today. I think the 43 version had like 476. And the specific car I drove, I don't remember. It was on the same wheels as this. But with the AMGs, you get less range when you go up in the range of the trim levels. So But let's see, once we get back to our starting point, we'll see what the actual consumption is. We're also going to connect to a charger and see what charging speed we get after a few hours on the road with only passive heating or passive preconditioning. The weather just keeps on turning on and off. It's so weird today. I haven't experienced a day like this in a long time, and we just got a message on the driver display about low battery at 17% state to charge. But that's nice because we just exited here to our endpoint. And are there any vacant chargers here? Maybe not, because these over here were closed. Are they still closed? They're out for a service. Maybe they're operational now. Let's go over here and check out. I think they're actually working. because there's been like a service team here all day, but I think they're working. Looks like they're on. Yeah, they removed the tape here. No, they're not on. The screens are off. Okay, then we'll have to go over to the chargers over here. But we'll have to also stop the timer when I remember it. Okay, there we go. The timer is now stopped. So let's go over here. I want to go over to these because all of these were, there was a car at each of the chargers, and I want to see what charging speed we now get after a few hours on the road without preconditioning. We don't do preconditioning in this test. And this bus is a little bit tight here. We don't do preconditioning in this test. We do that in another test here on the channel. And so because these are occupied, these are almost full. Is that a truck? Does he want to go and charge? Okay, let's see if we can go over to this charger here. Yeah, we can choose this one, but we have to, I think we can park like this. I think that this will be okay. Sorry guys for a little bit of a confusing, end to this range test here. Okay, because of the way this Toyota is parked, we have to go in sideways because the charge port is on the rear passenger side. So let's go as closely as possible there without hitting him, put it on park, and then I'll show you guys the actual consumption. 29.7 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. That is pretty high. That is pretty high. So let's hop now, connect to charger, and see what charging speed we get after 2 hours on the road. But before we do that, let's go into the EQ menu here. And the car is saying 120 kilowatts, so let's connect and see if we get that. We've now connected, and when we're waiting for the charger to just boot up here, I just want to give a huge thanks to today's video sponsor, Elton, which is an all-in-one charging solution if you live in Norway, Sweden, Finland, or Denmark. Because with this one charging app, with one payment method, one registered payment method, you can charge at almost all charge point operators in all of these countries. And Elton are actually giving away 1,000 kroners in charging if you enter your phone number in the link down below. If you have the app, it's just fine, you just register it. If you don't have the app, download it from a link also down below and then register your phone number. You can win 1,000 kroners in charging. So the car's at 120 kilowatts, but there is another car at this charger, but this is 225 kilowatts. So we should be able to get at least, because I don't think this Toyota here has, I think this is like a peak charging speed of 100 kilowatts on this PSA car, Stellantis group car now. We're only getting 75 kilowatts. Let's see what the other, yeah, he's getting only 17, so we should be getting more. But the car's at 120 kilowatts, so I actually think because of the site here, because there are a lot of cars charging here, I actually think that the limitation is with the charging site and not the car, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars charging here. And even though this is 225, that one is 225, and then we have two over there that are 150 kilowatts each, I think we're basically probably at the limit of the site here. And yeah, because this car, these EQ products usually get what the car is indicating because of that readout there, what the car is telling you. This EQ SUV 53 AMG 4MATIC Plus has a usable battery capacity of 90.5 kilowatt hours. So we take that number, divided by the consumption, 29.7 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and then subtract 3% in heat loss. That gives us a theoretical range under today's conditions of 296 kilometers. And to be honest, that is really high consumption, and that range isn't great. But there are a few caveats here. First off, the weather today, more winter weather than spring weather. I mean, we basically had slush, we had hail, we had rain, and also the peak temperature, the maximum temperature today, 6 degrees Celsius. For most of the run, it was between 3 and 4 degrees Celsius. So even though we are at the end of April, and we've had a few weeks now with spring weather, and next week it's supposed to be 20 degrees Celsius, this specific day, yeah, not great conditions for doing this range test. So that is a caveat, and also this is the least efficient version of this car. So it is what it is. Maybe if the weather turns a lot next week, like early next week, I'll be able to get in another range test, but I want to do my long trip test and also my review. So I don't think I have enough time, but maybe I should prioritize that. Let me know in the comment section down below. I might actually upload this video before I film the next video, but usually there's like a week or two in between when I film these and when I post them, because it's just how my schedule is sometimes. So let me know down below, guys, what you think about the results. I don't think it's too bad, but it's not good either. It's somewhere in between, and I was hoping for more and expecting more from this Mercedes EQE. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below, and for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later, and goodbye.